What's up, all you nerds and turds? It's me, it's Steve, it's him, it's Andy, and it's Indies Nutz Podcast, the internet's #1 indie gaming news, reviews, previews podcast, hosted by people you've never heard of, probably. This show posts each and every week for your listening pleasure on your podcast service of choice, including our home Podbean, and as a video on demand on youtube.com/dualscreens.tv, and you can watch it live on twitch.tv/dualscreenstreams. Andy, the end of the year is here. And
God,
games of the years are arriving,
are upon us. How are we back here again?
I don't understand it.
Of what was good,
what
was not good.
We have a significantly larger and more opinionated and more active staff at Dual Screens this year. So the whole, like last year we did really cool little articles, my games of the year, your game, like we broke that up like that, and we're still going to do something like that, but there are there are more of us now, I feel, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And but the game awards, the actual game awards, the Keeleys, as it were, had just happened, and lots of announcements, lots of release dates were shown. An incredible amount of awards were given out. Really, well-deserved awards for so many games. But indies were represented quite well at the Game Awards. So that's what we're going to be focusing on for today's show. And I do apologize if my voice goes in and out or if I cough a little bit. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather today. Like today is when it happened. So I can't wait for like the weekend of hell and me feeling like garbage, just in time to feel perfect for work on Monday.
You're fucked tomorrow is what you're saying, basically.
I will go to work. I will get through it. I am COVID negative, so if it's probably just a cold, and that's okay. So Game Awards came and went. We're gonna discuss that, but first let's talk about what's new on Dual Screens. We finally, after talking about it for about 6 weeks, Sonny Rad's review or preview, or I forget exactly.
No,
it's like
it was
an in-depth.
It's like an analysis.
Yeah, it's an in-depth analysis / preview. Has gone up.
Correct.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about it? You've been reading it for a month.
Coral Island.
Coral Island, yeah, former guest of
Coral Island
podcast. Yep.
Former guests, friends of the show, as we like to say over here on this thing we have. It's out. Early access.
Yep. We're in early access.
It's out on Game Pass. And reading her piece makes me want to play it because I'm not a farming sim guy in any way, shape, or form. It's one of those genres where Stardew Valley, I bought it because I felt like I had to buy it. Like everyone's talking about Stardew Valley. Let me get Stardew Valley and see what's all the commotion, what's all the hubbub. And I was playing it a little too much. Like this is like, I can't do anything else with a game like this. I can't focus on work, let alone other games that I want to play, because it's a huge commitment of time. Because you know what this, I understand. I understand the love and adoration that this game gets. Cool, but I'm gonna put you here where you belong. I'll put you back in the box. But you're amazing. I love you. Coral Island, reading Rad's piece, I was like, God, it looks good.
We knew it was gonna be we knew that it was ambitious. We knew that it was gonna be special. We knew it was going to be resonate with that core audience. Like that was absolutely 100% going to happen. But it looks like
it's not even that. It's even the Steam reviews are like really they got big numbers. It's like in the 90s, I feel, thousands of reviews.
Yeah.
It's the Dual Screens knockoff effect. You come on the show, you might be successful. Maybe.
It seems like some of the complaints that Rad's had here were more about tutorialization, the lack of kind of early game hand holding, character customization wasn't where she wanted it to be. but she feels that it's in a great position now and it's
Mhm.
only going to get better, and that's due to the involvement, which we knew was a thing, but the involvement of the
Huge
developers
team.
in their Discord,
Yeah,
in their community. They listen to feedback, they implement things very quickly, at least on for Steam and stuff like that. Now obviously this is an early access title, so
of course.
you're going to see a lot of these smaller iterations as the year as next year comes and goes. But highly recommended. And yeah, it's go check out the article. Go to dualscreens.com, give the click, share it amongst your farming sim friends, your Stardew Valley friends, and see if we can't get some people to give Rads a little love over there on the site. I think that's a
I love it.
I think it was really
I
well
love it.
written. It felt like it was a friend telling me if I would like something, and I like that. Well written.
It's like if you asked her, "Oh, what are you playing lately?" She gave you this whole breakdown. It was like
Yeah.
a lot of details in all the right places. So
Yeah, it was like, I don't know if I want
very
to do this.
very good
And,
read.
you
Very
know,
good read.
yeah,
No,
totes.
it's a voice. You know,
Totes my
it's a voice.
goats.
Mhm.
Um, we're gonna have a little bit of a a chat about what an indie game is, because there's a game I've been playing that is definitely a high budget game, but I have
Oh
never heard
no.
of the developers that made this game, and they also self-published. So I don't know if we can count this, but
I feel like we've had this conversation before.
I know Fat Shark has come out with Warhammer 40,000 Darktide, which is the
Okay.
space. It's the Warhammer Space Marine style Vermintide
Hmm.
style game. Um,
Right.
there's 4 character classes. I'm playing with uh, Purger Taylor, and I'm playing with Mikey Kirsch as well. 4
Mhm.
character classes. It's a lot of fun. The missions are really interesting. The world is great. It feels really good. It's the characters are really really like, they're ugly as hell, but like you're basically the bad guys. Like it's hard to explain because I don't know Warhammer very well, but
Oh.
you're basically members of a
Oh,
of a
I like this.
empire worshipping cult, and you are uh accused
Yes.
of basically
Yes.
like heresy and treason, but like Skyrim, you escape, or like you help them, so like they're like, all right, we trust you, go over here because the shit's hitting the fan. And basically it's a bunch of what they call heretics, which are basically zombie creatures and monsters and shit, and you're going on missions to try and eradicate them, get intel, do all different style missions. And the missions are like 20 minutes, half hour, depending on how good your team is. You always have a team of 4. Um, there's 4 classes to choose from. There's like a magic wielding class. I'm using the sharpshooter class. There's these. There's more of like a brute style. And there, I think the other one is. I want to say it's Siren, but I'm only playing the one class, so I'm not 100%. But they play really well together, and there's always like this. The thing I think is really charming is there's always this like back and forth dialogue with your character. You make your character, but you choose their voice. So they have all these recorded lines, all this dialogue for every mission to interact with every style character. And it's just cool watching your character just have this personality in this world. The art direction is beautiful. Like the world, I mean, obviously Warhammer is Warhammer, right? Like the miniatures, the tabletop
Hmm.
stuff, like the whole thing. I have a hair hanging in front of my face and it's driving me nuts. Um, and I just feel like it's got a lot more depth than a Vermintide does. You level up your character, you get abilities, you get new weapons, armor, stuff like that. You craft. It's got all those tropes. Right now, I think it is an early access, or at least there's still a lot to be added to the game. There's some things that are still locked behind.
Hmm.
Uh, they're just not available just yet. But I'm having an absolute blast playing it. and I can't recommend it enough
It
if you
sounds
like
like you
those
are.
times of games, those types of games. Um,
All
I've
right.
also been playing this small indie game. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's called Pokemon, made out of I think it's out of Europe. No, oh, it's a Japanese
Oh,
developer called the Pokemon Company.
okay.
Yeah, I've been playing that game too, but we're not going to talk about that.
Small indie game.
Small indie game.
Uh-huh.
I think it sold like 20 million
Talk
copies.
about talk about ugly games.
It's really really ugly.
It is.
It's beautiful in the ways it matters. It's charm and it's fun.
Uh-huh.
Andy, what have you been playing?
So the Game Awards
Yeah.
put me on a mission.
Mm,
I immediately downloaded to my PS5
mm.
Death Stranding and Returnal
I hate you.
because I just had to.
Both indie
So
games.
Returnal, I feel that has to be always on the PS5.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure why it wasn't there in the first place, but whatever. One of my friends just got it, and I was like, we got to play co-op. And watching him fail so hard was the greatest joy of my life. And I've been playing games for a long time. I'm not a pro gamer in any way, shape, or form. I don't like compete or play well enough, I think, where folks would want to watch me play a game if I were to stream professionally. But while we were playing, my friend goes to me, it's amazing how much better at games you are than I am. You're like a different species of person.
Mm-hmm.
Because he grew up gaming too. Like he loves Metal Gear, he loves, fighting games, God of War he's playing lately, you know, huge PlayStation guy growing up, but just there's a disconnect that skill level,
Yeah.
there's a disconnect. And watching him be like, how are you even not even you've taken no damage yet in this hour run? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just
There
it's
is a
all in the thumb.
litmus test to see a
Yeah.
gamer. I call it gamer IQ, and
Mm.
my daughter has gamer IQ, but my
Oh,
son does not. Now, here
your
is the
son wants
litmus
to
test.
skin people alive.
No, no, no. He's past that phase.
Where
So here's the litmus test for it. Okay.
okay.
If you want to see if a gamer or if a person has a high game IQ, you give them the controller, they start a level or whatever, they drop into a world. If the first thing they do is turn around and look to see what's behind them, they have a high gamer IQ.
Okay.
If they just go in the direction that their character is facing, they're a normie.
That's a really good test.
It is
keep an eye on it for that for next time.
100% accurate.
That's good. That's really good. That's really good.
Because you can't teach somebody secrets like that. Like that is something that you either learned from playing forever.
I got every nook and cranny.
It's just,
possibly
walk behind you because there's probably going to be, what was it? I think Metroid did it first, right? Like, or at least that's my earliest memory. I think you just run all the way that way and you get
very
like
first power
energy
was
tank
to
something.
the left, yeah.
So like,
and you were trained that you couldn't go left ever in video games at that point.
Well,
so
we had that. I'm saying if you give somebody who doesn't play games, like, and they do that, like if their character is facing to the right and they go left, you're like, interesting. You have curiosity. You have high gamer IQ. You know what's up. If it's a 3D world, if they scroll, if they move that camera around, and they look behind them, and it's a wall, and it's even crazier if they jump towards that wall just in case. Like that's crazy.
If they try to smack the wall, they've been playing Dark Souls too much. That's what's going on
then they have a low gamer IQ.
So Returnal, great, and then Death Stranding, the extra edition content stuff is the biggest Metal Gear cock tease blue balls thing I've ever played in my entire life. It is because the game isn't built like a Metal Gear game. It's trying to do what it can with its own mechanics. Like, okay, we want you to copy Solid Snake, but you're bound to Death Stranding game mechanics. and it's very limited.
I always
But like,
when I was playing Death Stranding, I felt like it was very Metal Gear, but without the Metal Gear
the,
tropes. Like
uh-huh.
it felt like Metal Gear, but it had, like you said, it had limitations, but it also had um it had a little extra. Like I didn't play Phantom Pain because I hated the design of that game. Like I just hated.
I spent a disgusting amount of time on that game.
I'm sure you did.
I
Um
missed 2 weeks of work. I could not put it
we
down.
have documentation over my feelings
Sickness.
about what they did with the game. I never played it, so I can't say definitively whether the decisions they made were good or bad. They just put me off to wanting to play the game so much that I
Uh-huh.
decided I'm going to leave my memories with Metal Gear Solid 4, which I absolutely fucking adored, and it was like the perfect action movie like finish.
Game made
Like
me cry.
I love that
That
game.
game made me cry.
Um Death
Oh,
Stranding
one
to
last thing
me.
too.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, yeah. Do that
I
first
was
because I
just
have
gonna
one
say
more thing I
Death
want to talk
Stranding
about.
to me was one of those games that just could not click, and I don't know if it's documented here on this show or another podcast or if we even spoke about this, but I had my come to Jesus moment. When they
Mhm,
announced Death Stranding 2 DS2 at the Game Awards,
mhm,
I realized what it
mhm,
was about the game that didn't click with me. Because I was like, man, I would
mhm,
love to go back and play that game and enjoy it so I could be excited
mhm,
for this because I
mhm,
just want to be a part of that
mhm,
zeitgeist, right?
mhm, mhm.
It is a violent attack on both my OCD and my ADHD. And I think that's why I can't get through it
But
because it's constantly making me very uncomfortable, even in its most mundane tasks. I don't find it
Steven,
relaxing in the least.
you're sorting dozens and dozens of packages on your body.
But that's not how my
You're
OCD
delivering them
that's
across
not how my
America.
OCD manifests, Andy. My OCD manifests about control. It's not about
Mhm.
organization, it's about control. And knowing
Ooh.
that I have either an X amount of time or I have an unknown amount of distance to go to complete my task gives me anxiety. And then there's the
Mhm.
ADHD where I'm like, well, there's something else on the ground. Now I have to pick that up.
Oh, dude,
Now I
you
have
wouldn't
to pick
survive.
this up. Now I
There's
have to
shit
go, oh, look,
every.
a new item.
so,
I'm going there. Oh, I could
so,
build something here. Oh, there a guy put that,
so
like I can't not I'm I just can't do it. I have to
it's
go see
funny.
all the stuff.
It's funny you mentioned that because I haven't played this game in a really long time, so it's kind of like relearning the systems.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, there's like shit everywhere. Do I get this all again? Do I pick it all up? All these metals and ceramics and lost packages. And I'm like, hold on. No, I can leave shit. I can ignore all this crap and just go where I need to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally there's like this desire. Again, it's like when we play games growing up, things like inventory, bullets, ammunition,
Mm.
power-ups, limited. So the desire to pick up everything is instinctual. And if that's like your mindset in this game going into it, you'll never you'll never stop playing because
Mhm.
there's always stuff on the ground,
Yep.
but things everywhere. But aside from those two gems, I also got in the mail this week a book from, yes, I do read, from another former guest of the show, our friend Brett Weiss,
Oh, okay, Brett.
has a new book,
Mhm.
The 100 Greatest Console Games,
Okay.
which I got for two reasons. One, because it's Brett. He's an awesome writer, does good shit. He did the SNES and the NES Omnibus
Omnibus. Yep.
a million years ago. Um, but it's more of a conversation piece. I want to know what this man thinks are the 100 greatest console games because that sounds on the surface controversial.
What's number 100?
And he's coming back. I don't know. He's coming back to the show
Oh,
to discuss all of his
all 100.
stances and all. We're gonna go through all of them one by one.
Deep dive.
But yeah, great read. It's on Amazon right now. $40. Pick it up. It's a good coffee table book for a geek.
Love it.
For a geek like us.
For the holiday season. And Santa Claus is coming down.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get into the Game Awards. First, I want to say Keeley did his damnedest to get this thing to 2.5 hours. It was a bit longer, not too much longer, but
that cracked me up.
it.
He's like, it's our shortest one yet. I'm like, what? It's still almost 3 hours long.
Yeah.
What? Was the old one like 6 hours long?
That, as you know, however, that was Chris Judge's fault because he did a 45.5-minute speach.
So leave the man alone.
No, it was a beautiful. It was a beautiful speech. It was a beautiful speech. But that was like a running joke the rest of the night after that. All right, so let's go over some of the bigger games and then we'll focus on the indies here. Games for Impact, which is one of those games that like kind of changes the I don't want to say changes the world, but like changes the conversation. As Dusk Falls won that. I'm not familiar with As Dusk Falls. I did not play As Dusk Falls, so unfortunately, I have nothing really to say about that. I don't know if you do.
Did not much of an indie game.
Yeah,
that game, to be honest.
Best debut indie game and best indie game both went to Stray. It makes sense. It makes sense that if you win best debut indie game, that you would also win best indie game. I feel like it should be best best debut indie developer, but I digress. It should just be.
What was it going up against? I'm just curious.
I do not have the nominees here. I did not pull that up.
Okay.
Oh wait,
Still,
nominations.
That's a good
here
pick.
I have the noms here. Hold on, I'll give you.
I'm just curious what those are.
Oh no, that's
debut it's the first game from a studio. Is that what the criteria?
I believe so. Yes.
It's your debut game.
Yeah.
So you can't have done any other games before that one.
Right. Which it should just be named developer or studio instead of game. It should just be worded differently. Yes, it could technically, I guess, be a different. Yeah, I guess technically the game could be. I don't know. Whatever. Let's see. Elden Ring won a ton of awards, including Game of the Year. It got Best Art Direction, Best Role Playing Game. God of War won Best Narrative, Best Action Adventure Game, Innovation and Accessibility. Elden Ring got Game Direction. Elden Ring got, as I mentioned, Game of the Year. Family Game, It Takes Two, which won Game of the Year last year. Because it was released on Switch.
How's that? The Switch?
I believe it was released on Switch this year.
That's how you double dip.
Yeah. So they got Family Game for that. Sports racing game, Gran Turismo 7. Okay, cool. Best ongoing game again was Final Fantasy 14. Best multiplayer game was Splatoon 3. Best mobile game, Marvel Snap. Great game. Awesome game.
There it is.
But that was basically all of the big awards. There was some individual performance type stuff and whatnot. I wouldn't really say there were many surprises. I think Stray maybe getting Indie Game of the Year could have been a little bit, especially with what is it, Zombie Survivors or?
Well, no, I would say Cult of the Lamb is like.
Oh yeah, it was Cult of the Lamb too. Yeah.
I would have been like, that would have been my first pick for Indie Game of the Year. And Ninja Turtles also is like also up there. That's like another great. It's a solid pick.
So
Stray surprises me. If that's what it was going up against.
So we did have a bunch of release dates that were announced. We got the PC edition of Returnal coming in early 2023. As far as indie games, that's really not an indie game anymore. I guess it was developed as an indie game, but that's it.
Yo, that NVIDIA leak, go back to it. It's all coming true. Whoever was on that list, it's real. So that's like gospel now at this point.
Yeah. New games announced. Hades 2 was announced, and it looks really good. Like really
okay, so I want to say something about this because I felt two ways about it. One, I love the first Hades. That's another like disgusting amount of time sunk into that game when it first came out, and still to this day. I love we're getting a part 2. Love. But Super Giant, I like when they genre hop. Like Pyre was this weird turn-based basketball fucking game. And then they did a roguelike in Hades. And the excitement of what's their next big idea gonna be? What's their next new IP gonna look like?
Yeah.
That magic is now gone away, but we are getting Hades too. So it's like it's like for me, yay and boo.
It's bittersweet, but
more yay, but there's a little bit of boo.
Yeah. No, I get you.
Yeah. Given the sales of that game and the success of it and Game of the Year award it got, it seems like an easy play for them. But I digress.
The big one for me was obviously Armored Core 6: Fires of Rubicon.
God, we're getting more Armored Core.
We are. We're finally getting more Armored Core. It is it's a From Software game. If you guys don't know, it's a mech game. It's mission based. It's not like open world like an Elden Ring or stuff like that. It's more you have a mission and then a big boss mech to fight, and it is fucking brutal. Like if you did the arena, I remember doing the arena, and when you get to like the top 10 in the arena battles, like it is super difficult, like really, really hard, but great games. I loved them growing up in high school and all that stuff. So I'm a big proponent.
Is it weird that people thought that this would play like a Souls-like game? And I was like, honestly, no, it's gonna play like an Armored Core game.
I think it might play more like a Souls game than you think.
I think they kind of said, no, don't expect it to play at all like a Souls game.
I don't think there's going to be Souls.
I'm sure there'll be elements.
Yeah.
But
I think it's going to be
gameplay
more methodical, because I remember it being more like you are constantly dashing and boom, like trying to get around. Flying,
I can see.
Yeah.
Right. It's Armored Core gameplay informed by the Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, Sekiro formula. But those thinking, I was like, why would you think you would play like a Bloodborne? It's Armored Core.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with people.
Judas was announced.
Okay. Question about Judas.
Yes.
This is Ken Levine's new game, correct?
Correct.
This is the
BioShock
spiritual successor to BioShock.
Right.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
I will correct
you. Maybe I'm mistaken here, but wasn't BioShock kind of like a successor to System Shock? I'm pretty. So, what do you call a game that is a successor,
spiritual
of another successor? Spiritual. It's like to the second degree, second power.
I think at some point he needs to just hold on to his IP and stop having to do this, because nobody's going to make the games as good as you. Nobody's going to follow your vision as good as you.
Well, you know what's fucked up, Steven?
I do know what's fucked up.
It looks great, but we just got Callisto Protocol, which was not great and was a Dead Space successor. Had some of the same people, same visionaries. We're just going to do Dead Space, guys, and they couldn't even do Dead Space right.
This
could spiritual success all at once.
I have a counter to that.
Down to my feet.
I have a counter to that.
Counter
My
away.
counter to that is Ken Levine made BioShock and System Shock with very minimal as far as resources go, whereas Dead Space was living up to the expectation, or Callisto Protocol was living up to an expectation of a Dead Space, which was an
Callisto
EA
Protocol.
game. Callisto Protocol. What am I saying?
True,
Right.
but
And
you just had to do
also,
Dead Space.
they didn't have many resources,
What's
and
so hard about
they
that?
were actually given more resources. I don't know. Everything I saw of the game looks really good. It's just like people were
Didn't they?
expecting a carbon copy
Didn't
of.
they? Didn't they?
God.
Didn't they say it was like a quadruple A game at some point?
I mean,
I could have sworn I read that
they
somewhere.
got a lot of help from Sony as far as like motion capture and like, because it looks great. Like the look of it is
Yeah,
phenomenal. I just think it was
sure,
lacking
but
in its as far as what I have not played it. As far as what I understand, it was lacking in its pacing. It was lacking in its storytelling. Um, the moment to moment gameplay was kind of
and the
staggered.
yeah ass. But
But I'm good for that. But yeah,
what you got for me
Judas
next?
looks very much like BioShock. Like a
Yes,
lot
it
like
does.
BioShock. We spoke about Death Stranding 2. Hellboy. This I missed. I must
It
have
looks
walked away.
crazy.
I don't know anything about Hellboy.
I didn't see this.
I
I
don't
wasn't
know.
really
Oh, it's a
watching. I
roguelite
was just
action adventure game. Okay.
oh
All right.
okay,
I'll look into that a
all
little
right.
bit more. I missed that one. I did not see that trailer. Um, but I'll look at. I used to really I dug the Hellboy movies, even the bad one. I didn't see the third one.
Oh, the new bad one.
The reboot bad one. Yeah, I did not see that one.
Right.
Um, what else we got? We got Remnant 2, which looks dope. And he's gone forever. There he is. He's back.
What just happened?
I don't know. Yeah, Remnant 2 looks dope.
I just died.
It happens,
It
buddy.
just died on me. It's okay.
Immortals of Avium and After Us were also announced. And also Crime Boss, Rockaway City. I feel like I knew about that one, but I don't know why I feel like I knew about that one. But it looks a lot like Mafia or something like that. It looks pretty cool. You can play with friends.
Is it just me? This seems like a short list. Is this like less than 10 games that were announced? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
It was not a
7,
long
8,
list.
10
Yeah.
games exactly.
It was a very well
Yeah.
paced game. Game awards. It was every few awards we got a debut, and it was pretty dope. I'm not.
Because he used to bank on like 45 world premieres. Like it
Yeah.
was always like trying to up the ante every year. So I like a more subdued Game Awards. Cause it lets all these like 10 games now shine. Like, okay, just 10 things were announced. Great. Now 50.
Yeah.
To keep track of. Love it.
After Us is the platformer game there by Private Division and Piccolo. That looks stunning. Not my game. I can't platform for shit. So I'm not going to.
Really?
I can't. I just don't have the. I don't have the dexterity for it anymore. Yeah. From the creative director of Dead Space and multiple Call of Duty campaigns, Immortals of Avium, single player first person shooter.
Look that up.
I saw that. That looked actually really good. It looks like a blockbuster first person shooter. So it is what it is. What else we got?
It's a weird combination.
I mean, that was it as far as the announcement.
Call of Duty.
I know.
So weird. What a combination.
So what did you think of the Game Awards overall? Like in generalities?
So like I said before, I didn't really watch it like live. I would just watch.
Andy died again. And it is pouring rain. There he is. He's back. It is pouring rain, so I imagine his your
Yeah.
internet's going banana right now.
Some shit's going down. I didn't watch it live. I was watching things. One of my friends gave me live commentary during the show.
Mhm.
I was catching things on the fly. But like I said, the for me, I was just the Death Stranding 2 boner was just all I could think about because
Yeah.
you know that game has a very okay spoilers for the end of the game of Death Stranding 1.
Whoa,
Cover
whoa,
your
whoa!
ears.
I don't want spoilers. Eventually, I might play the thing. It's got an ending
Okay,
that happens.
I'll say it this way: it's a closed loop. It has a very clear conclusion.
Yeah.
To the point where
right.
I thought, oh, you're done. Like you can't. This world is like kind of done, and it's a closed loop, and it's a nice little period. Great, awesome. It was a very polarizing game. I doubt we'll get more of this. I would like more of it because I love that fucking game. Rocking the Bridger shirt as we speak. But I was content knowing we would not get more of this world ever again. Purpose served, whatever.
Right.
Then this thing happens. And this looks fucking those faces look fucking photorealistic, dude.
It looks
I can't believe that's a game. Looking at that trailer.
It looks to me that this is going to be more it's going to have more urgency to it and agency.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be less less this and more oh shit. And I like that. That might be a little bit more my speed, but we'll see. Andy, I have a Kickstarter update. It has been a couple of weeks since we did this. The Kickstarter of the week. Our Kickstarter of the week. We did a live Kickstarter last time. We scrolled through and found a bunch of them and just talked about them.
That was really fun.
Christmas Cats. Andy has 7 days to go. 1 week to go. And it has raised not one single extra dollars from last time.
Wait. How do you not time it where it ends on Christmas? That seems like a missed opportunity. It's right there too. 7 days from now, like the 21st, 22nd. It's right there.
Yeah.
Why?
They must be hoping for a Christmas miracle, but
wait, what's their budget?
Their goal is $1,000.
Oh, what's my bonus this year?
They have $23.
Oh my God, Steven, should I fund the game?
The whole game? Just fund the whole game. You're like, here you go, man.
I'm gonna be a game publisher.
Yeah. Basically.
Steven, if I was drunk or high right now, you could convince me to go fund this game.
Well, here's the thing, Andy. Here's the thing. We wait a minute. Hold on. Because I don't think you need to be drunk or high for me to convince you of this. Hold on. Andy.
I see it funded tomorrow.
Andy. Listen to me. We are an LLC now.
Oh, we did it, baby. Kickstarter.
We are an LLC, which means we have a tax ID, which means we could do this as a tax write-off, as a 100% loss tax write-off. This is something that can be done.
What if I only gave them like $1 shy of what they need?
Just get them the $9.99. They would just do it themselves, wouldn't they? Just put the extra dollar in themselves. Be like, "Yay, we're funded."
Probably.
I don't know. These are things you should think about, Andy.
If it was like, oh man, that's a lot of money to throw away, though. But still, just the idea of it.
There's a magic meter.
I love the idea of it.
I love the Christmas Cats.
I just dropped a G on
Christmas Cats. Here's the thing. If you do that, Andy, we need 100% rights to all merchandise. All of it. And we will make shirts and fucking posters.
No.
coasters, mugs, ugly Christmas sweaters of Christmas cats.
Okay, am I correct in this? There's only like two pledge rewards. You get $1.
Yes,
$1 gets you credits, and $10 gets you a Steam key.
correct.
What if you fund the whole game? What do you get?
It's your game. There's no.
Wait, are they on Twitter?
Yes, they
oh
are.
my god!
They have to
I'll be like, I'll fund your game. What do I get?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you guys! The temptation is strong.
What's the worst that can happen, Andy?
Steven.
Who will be mad at you? Let's start that list first.
And no one but me.
Okay.
Me.
Okay. Listen, if you don't need the money and you want to make somebody's day, you want to make their project become a reality, and you want the exclusive merchandising rights for Christmas cats, you have to have that in writing. Like, listen, we want 100% merchandising rights because this game is ridiculous, and it's going to be a dual screens production. I mean, I'm not going to say it's your thing, but this could go on the dual screens resume.
You guys, oh my god, oh my god, we have 7 days. Let's do it. Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll on Twitter. Get a tweet. Craft a nice Twitter poll for me, Steven. Put it out there.
I will craft a Twitter poll for you.
I just want to see what kind of response I get. You can tag them if you want. I just want to see what kind of response we get.
Okay.
Oh my god, I'm about to spend $1,000 on the game.
I don't think of it as that. You're spending $1,000 on paying somebody's rent or their food so that they can make the game.
I wonder if we could all right, I bought this game. I own it now. Let's have a meeting about the name, the characters, the design, change all of it. Dude,
do everything that all of our guests complain about. Just be the worst.
Steven, I hate you. I'm considering it.
Sleep on it. And we'll see what happens, because here's what we'll do, Andy. We will record.
Oh, no.
We'll try and record a little bit earlier, maybe a day early. And we'll see if it happens live next week on Indie's Nutz podcast.
Oh my god. Oh my god, you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to bring us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching and listening. It was an absolute pleasure doing this for you.
It was.
If anybody in the chat has any questions, please throw them in the chat while we say our goodbyes and do our stuff. If you want to support us on Patreon, you go to patreon.com/
I could use every dollar now.
Yeah, we could use every nickel. Go to patreon.com/dual screens. Just like our Patreon producers, Colton the Apprentice, Nestler, and FNH Paul. We can't continue to grow without all of your support. So we do appreciate that so very, very, very much. Steve's thoughts has gone up this evening. I talk about what I believe the 1,000th Pokemon should be. It's an interesting little episode. You get that for $1. You could also go into our Discord for $1. So just consider supporting us over there. It's a good thing. Andy will eventually send out stickers for the Sticker of the Month Club. We are now 5 stickers in to the Sticker of the Month Club. So
5 whopping stickers.
Or 4 stickers. I don't know, something like that. I think it might be 4. Thank you very much, listeners. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, Andy, for disappearing for a 3rd time.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
We love you.
God.
And as always,
I love you guys too.
Please be excellent.